Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Nicholas Fung of HKU, and I would like to share some of our present as well as upcoming studies we have on AMD. These are my relevant financial disclosures and involvement. With the adoption of intravitreal anti-VEGF therapy as the standard of care, this has resulted in a decrease of the number of people becoming legally blind due to AMD. Over the years, we have heard a lot about anti-VEGF and have become familiar with their use, from the early days of pegatinib to current pillars ranibizumab and aflibercept, and the recent addition of brolucizumab. We definitely have a lot of options to choose from as the drugs get better with each generation. Now let's take a look at some new direction. First, conbercept is a similar structure to aflibercept, trap-eye design. Unfortunately, their phase 3 trial PANDA was terminated earlier this year as the primary endpoint was not reached. As one of their investigators, I hope to see the results of the trial soon. Second, faricimab is a single molecule that binds both Ang2 in addition to VEGF. The bispecific antibody is designed to suppress inflammation as well as promote vascular stability, which is especially helpful in DME or RVO with the Ang2 arm, while the VEGF-A arm inhibits further neovascularization. And the FAB-FC is also designed to reduce inflammatory potential. Now let's take a look at the phase 3 parallel studies Tenaya and Lucerne. We are part of the Lucerne trial at Hong Kong U and previously talked about the design in depth. The highlight here is that there are 3 arms of faricimab, a bi-monthly, a 3-monthly, as well as a 4-monthly treatment versus a bi-monthly aflibercept. The primary endpoint is at 40 to 48 weeks. However, the study is still ongoing for a total of 2 years. Here's some data from ARVO as 2021 as the clinical trial is still ongoing. This is only a snapshot at week 48. We can see that nearly 80% of the patients can tolerate 12 weekly injections or above. And the results show that visual acuity improvements are very similar in faricimab arms and are non-inferior to aflibercept. The same is true in anatomical perspective. Complications and adverse events are a common topic these days with anti-VEGF, and the trial shows that faricimab is comparable to aflibercept, which is a drug we are familiar with in terms of safety. In conclusion, the paired global phase 3 Tenaya and Lucerne trials involving over 1,300 patients with NAMD, the results are promising the first year. Our team at Hong Kong U are also involved with the extension study Evonal X, which will follow patients for 4 years in total and really explore the durability of faricimab. Next, I would like to talk about a different approach to AMD management. The PDS, or Port Delivery System, is likely to come to Hong Kong sometime in 2023, and this has just been approved by the FDA recently. Let's take a look, and you can see the implant on the left, and after implantation there's a subconjunctival access for refill. Ranibizumab is released from the PDS implant and mediated by passive diffusion, which follows the Fick's law, where the high concentration within the implant will diffuse into the low concentration of the vitreous cavity. Archway is a phase 3 randomized clinical trial of the PDS for patients with NAMD. These patients who are already shown to be responsive to anti-VEGF were recruited. The trial was designed to evaluate non-inferiority and equivalence of the 24 weekly refill versus a monthly injection of ranibizumab. The primary endpoint was BCVA. Patients were seen every month, and those in the PDS arms were eligible for supplement intravitreal injections of ranibizumab at the 2 weeks prior to each refill exchange procedure if they meet the specified vision and anatomical disease activity criteria listed. Visual acuity in both arms will show stability through 72 weeks. There's an expected transient drop in visual acuity after undergoing surgery for the PDS group. However, the anatomical as well as visual acuity outcome are very similar and very stable for both arms. And here we can see that only about 1% of the patients need supplemental treatments in the first interval and 5% in the second. However, none of these patients overlapped. The data is still ongoing for the third and fourth. This table shows the adverse events of both arms, and the overall column of the data includes both before 40 weeks. As we can see, many of the initial adverse events have resolved by the 40th week. Cataracts is expected with any implants. However, the majority were worsening and progression of existing cataracts, while no traumatic cataract events were reported. Here we can also see the resolution of most AE by week 40 and any conjunctival complications. One PDS patient had a repeat event of endophthalmitis, and both events were negative for culture. This patient was found to be HLA-B27 positive, and the overall rate of the endophthalmitis in PDS treated patients remained consistent with primary analysis. There was one event of endophthalmitis reported after 40 weeks, even in the ranibizumab arm. In the PDS arm, the rates of retinal detachment and vitreous hemorrhage as well as hyphema were consistent with primary reports. There were 2 additional events of implant dislocation after week 40 for a total of 3 events through September 2020. However, as mentioned earlier, the PDS has been approved by the FDA in October this year, and with excellent results from Archway, it's likely that the PDS will be a game changer. There we have it, Combricept, an existing drug that miscut in 2021, Faricimab, a new bispecific antibody coming in 2022, and the implantable refillable anti-VEGF device in 2023. Our team at Hong Kong U has also been selected to participate in the upcoming Diagrid study for the PDS system. We look forward to reporting more exciting results in the future. Thank you.